Hello, welcome to COVIDcast with Reykjavík Grapevine. My name is Valur Grettisson. I'm editor-in-chief with Reykjavík Grapevine.
And I'm Andie Sophia Fontaine. I'm the news editor at Reykjavík Grapevine.
We're going to talk about the situation in Iceland right now when it comes to the COVID-19 virus. We're going to talk about how many have attracted the virus, as well as how state are in schools, swimming pools, travel bans and stuff like this. Let's just begin with basic information that everybody's thinking about. How many have the coronavirus in Iceland right now?
Yes.
The newest numbers are actually 224, which is quite high, and they have, let's not say skyrocketed, but they've been going higher very steeply now past days. Today, and the main reason for this is basically because Decode, like we explained the other day, is doing more examples.
Yes.
So they have taken now 2,600 samples, and they have found 22 people with the COVID-19, and it means that it's more likely now than before that 1% of the nation has the virus.
Yes, it's still hovering at the 1% mark, which is encouraging.
It's good, exactly. It's like, it means that, I should not be touching my face. I'm sorry about that. I can't really help it. So it's mostly Andie that is annoyed about it, but I'm sorry about it.
It's okay. I just want to set a good example.
Exactly. Of course, we're going higher by any day, and there are now I think 3 or 4 at hospital. One is in what do you call it, gjörgæsla?
Intensive care.
Intensive care, yeah. So it could get worse before it gets better. Like we went over it yesterday,
yes.
We think that that this will be over in July, hopefully. And they have estimated that, well, they did it in the beginning of this. They estimated that around 300 Icelanders would get this virus. I hope that would be right.
One would hope, if we're talking about 1% though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, 1%. Well, yeah, of course. I guess it would be I don't know how this works, to be honest.
If 1% bears out, then we're talking
3,500 people that have the virus, but then most of them have no symptoms or at all.
Those with no symptoms, something like 80%, do not even become seriously ill. They just stay at home, or if necessary, go to hospital. And I think we're doing a very good job in flattening the curve, as it were. I had taken a recent interview with as you know, with the director of the Directorate of Health, Alma Möller, and she placed a great deal of emphasis on how all of our measures are about flattening the curve, which is to stem the spread enough that the healthcare system can handle it, to not make any decisions based on panic, to always have a proportionate response, and to trust in the general public to exercise personal responsibility and think about their communities more, which I think is a wise approach.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Also, it feels like it's working in Iceland. Everybody's taking this super seriously. I guess other nations hopefully also, but I mean,
definitely,
it doesn't take more than one idiot could be a setback. But now we are now more intensively into the talks about economy. Iceland is closing in many ways, although the international airports are still open. But it means that Bjarni Benediktsson, the financial minister of Iceland for the Independence Party, he talked about it today, that this morning, that Iceland is at least, we have lost around 100 billion Icelandic krona on this. That would be around $710 million US. So this is our loss right now. I think we will lose even more. I think companies will get into a lot of problems, and we have to do a lot of things to help them. So I think they are talking to get, there is an announcement today. Of course, they had this plan a few weeks ago, not a few weeks, like a week ago.
Yes.
And
it seems like a few weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Every day is like for 5 days or something. But that plan was obsolete the day after when Donald Trump imposed travel ban to Iceland. Then,
from Iceland to the U.S.
Yeah, exactly. So that means that because I think 30 or 40% of our tourists were from the US, that meant that we lost a lot of money just right there. So that was devastating in many ways. Schools, they are messed up. I had to come in at 11:30 today. Because schools are like the kids are allowed to be in schools 2 hours per day. Only in 20 in group. And
you have young children.
I have one 6-year-old and I have to be with him at home before he goes to school, and then I just walk with him. It was interesting. The parents cannot go into the schools, so we had to wait outside the schools until the teacher opened the door, and then we sent the infected kids in.
I got an email, in fact, from my child. My child is disabled, and she disabled children's services are still very much open, but we still got a cautionary email saying, hey, if you're coming to pick up your kids, please don't come into the building. Wait outside, we'll send them out.
And it's interesting, they have some kids attracted the virus in Iceland, but they are like extremely few. So it seems that they are not the problem. So the swimming pools, they're open again. That's interesting. I thought they would definitely be closed, but they have made some arrangements. It will not be the casual trip to the swimming pool. We cannot do it like we always did. I'm not sure how they will do this. I basically just have to go check it out.
It'll be like a nightclub. Will there be somebody outside with a counter?
Yeah, I love that actually.
And only so many people can come in at a time.
So also, if you're in Iceland as a tourist or just traveling or an expat or whatever, just keep in mind that if you come there, you could have to either wait until they get down to 99, or you just have to go. They would just say no, it's closed for now for X time. So it's up for coincidence, I guess. One other thing, Parliament is up and running again. Also with restriction. Of course, in Iceland we have 64 members at the Parliament. 63, of course. God, that was embarrassing.
But they're not the only staff.
No, then they have staff and stuff like this. So they cannot all be in the hall at the same time. They have to pick their fights, I guess, more precisely. I'm not sure how this will affect anything. I mean,
not really. I mean, from my own very brief time in Parliament, if you want an example of a workplace of this meeting could have been an email.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Parliament.
That's a little bit. Yeah. And then to the dire things, like the serious stuff. The EU wants to restrict travels wants to restrict travels within the Schengen area. This would mean if they would close down, they would also close down Iceland, completely against our government will. We are not fond of this at all because we have things under control. First of all, this will even deepen our economic impact, and this could be prove devastating for us. So
it's a really dumb idea.
It feels like
totalitarianism.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, to be honest, because I think all governments should have their own saying about this.
Absolutely, they should.
So, and we have different tactics, obviously, and the EU is not playing the most sensitive tactics, it appears.
No, they're not. But I mean, there's even EU health officials who have been saying this is not the measure that you want to take.
Yeah.
Especially now that the virus is already in the house, as it were.
In Iceland, they say at least that this would not have it wouldn't matter that much for us.
No.
It would not keep anyone out. It would just keep everybody in, I guess, which is fine in a way, but I mean...
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything for us. We just would lose a lot of money for it, and we would need to tackle that somehow.
Yeah. Start using Hafiskur as currency again, I guess. I don't
know. So this is in the talks. This is what's her name? Is the manager not sure the English name for who was talking about this.
Ursula.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
what's her status in?
I think she's the EU president.
EU president, yes.
I think so.
As she wants this to take effect immediately, and I mean, let's see how that goes. I'm not sure if this would be, if this would happen at all. But it feels like a very panic. Again, it's similar to the Danes. It feels like a panic reaction almost.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing. To the questions, Alexandra Stanik asked us if there is a chance or possibility for people not living in Reykjavík, for instance Westfjords or the north of Iceland, to participate in the decode genetic research. And the answer is yes, definitely. You just book a time and then you just fly or whatever.
I would encourage it, actually. If you're living in the countryside, by all means do so. It'll give us like a broader picture. It's not just a matter of numbers, it's also a matter of geography.
Also keep in mind that we have health, like heilsugæslur, health clinics all over the country. We have doctors that can make these tests. There are much fewer people there, completely different kind of vibe. We have already gotten like people with COVID virus in more parts of the country, so it's getting brought around Iceland, and it's not for the lack of testing. It's like it's just, I don't know why. I mean, perhaps they like in different kind of reaction with people, much fewer people, much smaller towns, easier to isolate and stuff like this. Mm-hmm. Also, Rosanna Silvia asked about the number that we talked about yesterday. We talked about the Red Cross has the 1717. That's the 1717 is the number. That is definitely for those that do not know how to, like if you're traveling in Iceland and you think you have the virus and you don't know how or what to do, then the Red Cross can definitely help. But we also have what we call like health phone, like
Navaktin, like the doctor's shift.
Doctor's shift, which is that phone number is 1700 or 1700. But keep in mind, they are very busy. It can be very busy and difficult to reach them. Mm-hmm. So it's good to have both numbers then, I guess. And it was a good point from Sylvia. And then we had like also an email. Thank you for that. There we have two questions. Mm-hmm. And the first, just reading now, in the first podcast, Andie mentioned that with the change of the exchange rate, the products in the supermarkets are getting even more expensive. Is that really the case? That's the first question. Andie?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're traveling here with foreign currency, the exchange rate, I haven't checked today's figures, but yesterday it was 133 kroner to the dollar, which is pretty high.
Yeah.
It was about that level shortly after the financial collapse. If you're just living in Iceland and you're being paid in ISK, you're probably not noticing a difference in prices yet. Mm-hmm. But yes, to clarify, what I meant is if you're traveling to Iceland from, example, the United States, you might notice that your dollar doesn't go as far as it did, for example, a few weeks ago.
It's changing, but it's not falling. It's not in free falling like it did in 2008.
It's not in free falling, and there's also the outside effect of the U.S. Federal Reserve, printing some 1.5 trillion US dollars to inject into the loan market.
Yeah.
So maybe the dollar devalued at the same time as the krona, and the exchange rate is. Okay.
Also, next question is, I am asking that with the weakening of the Icelandic currency, the imports will get more expensive, but all the tourists and people with foreign cards will have it cheaper to shop here. Given that this decline of the strength of the Icelandic currency continues, we will see an increase in prices later on as imports will get more expensive, but for the moment I would rather say that shopping and tours get even cheaper if paid in ISK. What do you think? It's the same. Yeah, you covered this, right?
Yes, pretty much. Like if you're paying a dollar, like if the dollar weakens at the same time the krona weakens, then yeah, you'll see like either the same amount or it'll be even cheaper. It really depends on the currency of your home country. Mm-hmm. If you're being paid in ISK, then you may notice prices go up. really depends.
The second question is, as we have many foreign nationals living in Iceland, I was wondering what would happen if a foreign national would visit their home country and then plan to come back to Iceland, as we are not citizens of Iceland but residents. Do the same travel bans to come home to Iceland would affect us? That is a good one.
Yes.
Right now, no. If you have resident in Iceland, if you have like a, what do you call it, like if you're registered in like national registered in Iceland, then yeah, definitely you could come back.
You can still come back, yes.
Yeah. But always keep in mind, like if this not insane perhaps, but if this travel ban from the EU will be agreed, I mean, then definitely Google it before. It could change.
Talk with your airline.
Talk to the airline.
For readers and for listeners and viewers, I'm in current contact with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Justice to get some definitive answers on if Iceland is going to take part in the closure of the Schengen area, and if so, when. Yeah. But it's not happening like now. For example, Icelandair has told me that they told me just a few minutes ago that they're not planning on changing any of their flights at the moment. So we'll see, I guess.
And keep in mind also, if the EU will go forward with this, it could become a complete political mess. Iceland could technically just say no to this, and I mean, I'm not sure what they could do about it, and stuff like this.
Not a lot.
It would definitely weaken the alliance and stuff like this. So it's like, I think this is like, this will not take an effect anytime soon. Perhaps in the end of the week. And when I talk about soon, I'm talking about like today or tomorrow, basically, right. Because things change so rapidly. Yeah, so I think this is there is a political fight brewing here. To be honest.
Yes. One final point I would like to emphasize, because I was talking about this with my fiance last night. I was telling her about my interview with the director of the Directorate of Health, and she was impressed, and she was like, wow, it sounds like the Icelandic government is not panicking or anything. And it occurred to me, like, yeah, like Iceland is kind of like a crisis nation. Like, it's been through what? There's been like devastating volcanoes, earthquakes, Spanish flu, Black Plague, famine, total financial collapse. Like, it takes a lot to rattle these people, basically.
Yeah, also, I think perhaps just like a final, like, I think I like often like with American media, they are actually very cool-headed for how the situation is. And how people are talking is like, it's almost like poetic in some ways. They're like talking about supernovas and the brightness and how you see like sickness now, and it's like you're always behind, and like it's interesting, like how it's beautiful often to read news these days. It's different, but my point is this, so I add to this, it's like just I mean, if you're kind of panicking and you think and feel like this is like absolutely hectic, and just think about it as a storm. That's the only way I can see it right now. This the clearest way to the metaphor that I can find is that it's like a really slow storm, like a white storm that you can't really see, and you do exactly the same things as like in Iceland. If you have a storm, there are a few things you have to do: buy some food, hunker down, and listen to the officials, and don't go outside. I mean, if you go outside, it's gonna be hectic, and it could end your life, or even if you're not careful. So it's like it's just a storm that takes longer time. So if you think about it like this, it's like I think it's, at least for me, it helps somehow.
Definitely. I mean, all things must pass, as it says in the Bhagavad Gita.
Exactly. Are you good? Any last words?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm good.
Then we'll see you tomorrow. Please keep on sending us questions, if any awakes. And we'll see how the economy will, like what the financial minister will say about the things today. And we have a meeting with the Director of Health and the Civil Guard at 2:00 today, so there will be more updates tomorrow. And yeah, keep posted, subscribe and like. Also, I want to, the High Five Club.
Yes, very important.
We are taking also, like everybody else, a massive hit at the Reykjavík Grapevine. We're not panicking. Well, kind of, yeah, of course. But we're concerned, yeah. We have on our homepage, grapevine.is, we have something called High Five Club, where readers or viewers or listeners can give us money from like what, €3 up
to 18.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Per month?
Mm-hmm.
Per month, I guess. Mm-hmm. Just check it out. If you like what we're doing, then please support us somehow. It's more or less the corona panic that's going on right now, so we would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.